Hi, everyone. Assalamu alaikum. Thank you for joining us today, both those who are here and those who are attending virtually, including my family back home. I'm super excited to talk to you about a topic that I'm personally and professionally passionate about. From humanitarian aid to sustainable communities in northern Afghanistan. To understand the importance of shifting from aid to strategies for sustainable community solutions, we first need to consider the challenges of aid within Afghanistan. In the last 2 decades, Afghanistan has received a significant amount of aid. Yet, due to lack of number of complex factors, Afghanistan remains with high level of poverty and vulnerability. Today, I'm going to share with you how I have personally observed this situation and my ideas for change. Well, I am Mustafa Rezaie, a Rotary Peace Fellow from Afghanistan. I come from a small, marginalized, and conflict-affected village in northern Afghanistan. Growing up, I went to a school that had been destroyed by war. I studied without access to basic school supplies. As a young man, I could only dream of going to the university in the US. And now I'm studying at the prestigious university like Duke. Do you see that photo is a proof? Thank you. Thank you. And I would like to thank Rotary District 5495 who endorsed me as their first Afghan fellow. Thank you so much. Now at Duke University, I leverage my decade of field experience with rigorous study to address Afghanistan's challenges. As a Rotary Peace Fellow, I strive to create impactful solutions for my homeland's pressing issue among ongoing crises. Let us try to understand better the context in Afghanistan. Through my studies at Duke, indeed I realized the importance of historical, socioeconomic, and environmental context, in which this intervention takes place as a basis to identify the challenges as well as the opportunities and to come up with a potential viable policy. From a historical perspective, as you can see in the slides, Afghanistan has a rich history that has been characterized by frequent political changes. It significantly impacts the country's stability and development over time. The 1960s marked Afghanistan's modernization era, during which substantial progress was achieved. Where women had equal rights, this made Afghanistan unique in the region. However, this era came to an end with invasion of Russia, and that led to civil war and emergence of Taliban in 1996. Despite these challenges, Afghanistan has demonstrated resilience throughout its history. In the past 2 decades, during the NATO intervention, Afghanistan has made a significant progress, but it has been disrupted by the Taliban, resulting in violence against minorities and restrictions on girls' education and women's work opportunities. Now let's see what are the socioeconomic problems while the country is under the control of the Taliban. Poverty remains one of the main challenges in Afghanistan. The poverty rate went up from 47% in 2019 to 70% in 2022. Around 2.5 million girls are denied education, and around 65% women forbidden to work. And 15.5 million people, which represent approximately half of the population, do not have access to adequate food. Humanitarian crisis, natural disaster have led to 6 million displacement in the country. This shows how the country is vulnerable. The climate change added additional challenges to political instability and socioeconomic problems. This significantly impacted the agriculture production, which is the main source of food and income for the rural areas, where 70% of population resides and 61% of them are employed in agriculture sector. Additionally, 60% of population relies on rain for irrigation, which is more vulnerable to climate change. Considering this problem, let's see how much aid Afghanistan has received for a humanitarian and economic recovery over the last 20 years. A total of 85 billion for a population of 38 million. This is in addition to billions of dollars for security and governance. You would think it should have been sufficient to build Afghanistan economy, right? Unfortunately, it was to be the case. What were the main problems? After gaining a better understanding of the context, I complemented my field insight derived from frontline listening to the communities by integrating literature reviews from diverse reliable sources, aligning with principle outlined in Paris Declaration on Aid Effectiveness. What are my findings? So I have found that challenges contributing to lack of long-term impact and sustainability in aid intervention in Afghanistan are absence of local ownership in aid policy, lack of alignment between donor strategy and national strategies, and lack of harmonization among donor. Short-term results where aid delivered lacked the durable outcomes, and lack of mutual accountability, which associated with poor understanding of local contexts and priority needs. For instance, a major donor for Afghanistan reconstruction was USAID, which often lacks the strategy and harmonization within the USAID itself. This is from US Special Inspector General for Afghanistan Reconstruction, SIGAR report. On the other hand, internal challenges such as weak government capabilities, corruptions, and inadequate monitoring and evaluation further exacerbate the problems. Now, given these challenges in context of Afghanistan, what can we do? Is Afghanistan having the financial capabilities to address these challenges? Answer is no, unfortunately. Afghanistan is aid dependent. How much aid is pledged by international donor and receiving Afghanistan while the country is under the control of Taliban? You might be surprised to hear that an amount of 6.9 billion in humanitarian aid, which is a huge amount if effectively implemented. Now, as a positive initiatives, I would like to share my personal experience engaging with community members to address priority needs as seen in the picture. In my role as a regional monitoring and evaluation manager, I collaborated with partners to design, deliver, and monitoring sustained rural development project in northern Afghanistan. After conducting a needs assessment, I combined humanitarian and development concepts to support women, children, youth, and farmers to enhance the long-term livelihood of communities in the region. Over 1.6 million people were impacted by this program. In this RDP program, we focus on good governance, education and employability, agriculture, and livestock management to address multiple needs of rural communities. It was in 4 provinces, which are highlighted in the maps. Despite the risk I personally visited the villages in Faryab, Jaujan, Balkh, and Samangan provinces, as you can see on the picture. It was risky, just a mile away from the Taliban. But I walked alone without weapon to show trust in the villagers and to better understand their needs. So you might ask, what made this program effective? Based on my observation, in comparison to many other projects, and based on third-party evaluation finding, the program was effective because the program addressed community needs effectively with no program overlap. Through the program, we enhanced effectiveness by addressing multiple needs of the communities. So what was the project impact? Well, evaluation findings have shown that SRDP has brought a significant positive impact on target beneficiaries and communities. How? I'll describe it very shortly, considering the time limit. Susan is timing now, maybe signal now, please. In good governance, the project made a big impact because it improved by setting up local development platform and training community leaders. This led to better resource management and empower civil society organization. In education, significant changes were seen. With over 1,000 young women gain job skills through vocational training, such as tailoring, bakery, and many more skills. They also were provided with tools to start their business. Additionally, over 12,000 girls learned English language skills and computer and science at youth development centers, which were permanent centers built on those 4 provinces. In agriculture sector, 58 cooperatives and women farmers group were formed and trained. These initiatives enable them to process their agriculture products, adding value and facilitating market connections. As a result, jobs and income opportunities were generated for vulnerable groups and making the project truly impactful and beneficial. Given this widespread positive impact, we know that combination of humanitarian and development approaches work well for the communities. Therefore, this example can serve as a template for new initiatives seeking to address multiple needs that directly improve the quality of life rather than just delivering the aid. With this example in mind, I recommend the following to ensure more sustainable community solution in Afghanistan. 1, integrate humanitarian and development interventions for meeting multiple needs of vulnerable communities. 2, promote local ownership and participation in aid design and implementation. 3, enhance coordination among donors and align their strategies with national priorities for more coherent and impactful approach. 4, strengthening monitoring and evaluation mechanism to track progress, identify challenges, and improve project outcomes. 5, focus on long-term solutions that empower communities and build their capacity for self-reliance. Your support in ensuring these recommendations come to life is vital for advancing sustainable development in Afghanistan. My story is a proof of that. Together, we can make a meaningful difference. Thank you all for your attention.